Hey guys, I'm Richard Fitzgerald. This is Dubai Works, where we interview the business leaders making a difference in this great city.
That business with scalability was very interesting to me.
I like building something that has legacy.
This episode of Dubai Works is sponsored by Petra Insurance, a groundbreaking player in the UAE insurance market with more than 55 years of experience in the industry. Petra Insurance offers a range of products to individuals and companies, providing quick solutions and the advantage of paying in installments. They also recognize the importance of transparency, and they make it a point to assure trust in their policies. You can get in contact with them directly by visiting Insure with Petra. Welcome back to another episode of Dubai Works Business Podcast. I'm joined by Laura Manning, the founder and MD of BRW Society. I'm going to ask her to tell us what those initials are, but they are an eco-friendly, sustainable tea brand that places an emphasis on quality and affordability in its offerings. As you can see, and if you're listening, very colorful products, very colorful website, very colorful tea brand. So we're going to hear all about the history and the story of the BRW Society, the beverage industry and competition in the UAE, particularly around teas, and also the plans for the future. So welcome, Laura.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here today.
Good morning. Thank you for coming here. So can you tell us interesting background? How did you come up with BRW Society?
I'd absolutely love to tell you our story, but do you mind if I ask you a quick question first? Are
Sure.
you a tea drinker or a coffee drinker?
I'm a tea drinker.
Yay, music to my ears.
I think in Ireland we grew up drinking tea more. So I started coffee when I was about 16.
Okay.
And drank it every day for
Okay.
about 22 years or so. And then I gave up about 8 months ago. So I'm exploring teas.
Okay.
So I'm going to learn a lot from this interview.
This is like the best interview. Yeah, I can tell you everything about tea. How amazing.
Okay.
We hear that story a lot, how people, want to transition from coffee to tea. But my story for me, tea was such a huge part of growing up. It's been in my life for like forever, as long back as I can remember. I came from a very close-knit family in Wales. And my nan was like the matriarch of that family. And she was an absolute tea addict. She loved tea. And she got all the family drinking tea, I have like the fondest memories of all getting together when I was younger and sitting around the table with that, savouring that cup of tea. And she loved tea so much that she really lived her life one cup of tea at a time.
Wow.
And I think that's just like such a lovely way to live your life,
Yeah.
where, you pause, you reflect, you're kind of in the moment. She got the family really to drink tea, and it was such a big part of our life growing up.
Yeah.
So that got me to where I am today, and I'm such a huge tea lover. I drink copious amounts of tea every single day. It's ridiculous. But that's what got me to start Brew Society. I really know the importance a cup of tea makes to your well-being. From putting the kettle on to finding your favorite cup and making your tea, and then just waiting for the tea to cool for that first sip. It really puts your state of mind into, absorbing your environment, taking everything in, and just really slowing down in your day.
Yeah.
So I was really inspired to start Brew Society because of how important tea was in my life growing up and still is today. And I just really want to kind of help people to savor the moments and really take the time for themselves and to connect with other people as well.
Fascinating. Interesting. So Brew Society in the UK, mainly people talk of tea as a brew, don't they?
We do, yeah. It's close to my heart, brew, yeah.
Yeah, and is that a term that's used elsewhere as well, and then you just abbreviated it for the name?
Yeah, we did. Well, we abbreviated it because we're trying to be cool. We're trying to, show a different side of tea and really change people's perceptions of it.
More
Tea.
Yeah,
tea is super cool. Like, there's so many variations out there. It's so colorful and so diverse. And we just really wanted to kind of not to conform and to show people how amazing this product is and all the amazing things you can do with it. So I think at the time I was probably watching quite a lot of The Weeknd, and I loved the way how he dropped the E. So I was like, we can be cool like The Weeknd, or we'll take brew, or we'll drop the E.
Love it.
So that's how we came up with that part of the name.
Yeah.
But in terms of the society, like, I really thought a lot about that, because for me and how tea has been a big part of my life, I really wanted to help society, share the importance of tea tea to me to other people. So, you know, the whole society, you know, is our purpose in the company, to really help society to find opportunities, to connect with other people, and to find a common ground. So it's really important, that word in the company title for me.
Definitely, and it's more welcoming. It's part of a community and things like that as well.
Yeah, of like-minded people who love tea.
Yeah, interesting. So how long is the business going?
So I launched Brew Society in July 2019.
Okay.
I moved to Dubai actually just shortly before that in 2018. And you know, as my tradition at home of drinking tea, my mum would send me the care parcels, if you like, of tea, because she knows how obsessed I am about tea, and also it just helped us to connect. And I just couldn't find all of the lovely things that I would drink in the UK here. So she would send me this lovely care package every month with all of my favorite teas, and we would have a Zoom call with the kids and my mum and just have a chat like we would at home over a cup of tea.
Interesting. That's fascinating because, you know, Irish people, and the same with English people, the tea brands that we know, whether it's Barry's or Lions or whatever, they would be part of those care packages.
Yeah.
And often people would enjoy them and ship them in and buy them here and go back. Not many people would think, I'm going to create my own tea. So how did you decide that you're going to make your own tea? And was that your background? Were you in product? Were you an entrepreneur before?
No, I think I've always been quite entrepreneurial in my style, you know. I'm always one of those, a person who's a cup half full, you know, there's always like, you know, positive about everything. But my background, you know, I went to university in Wales. I'm from Wales. I did a business degree. And then straight out of university, I decided to stay at home for a bit longer. So I started working for Tata Steel. So not really a tea background. The business was really initiated by my passion and wanting to inspire other people to savor the moment and enjoy tea and get to know tea. Because, you know, there's so many different varieties of it, and you can do so much with it. It's such a dynamic product, and there's so many amazing innovations in the tea category all around the world that maybe is not available here as much, you know, but we want to share that with people to give them the opportunities to see these amazing products.
Fascinating. So how did you go about it? Because, you know, tea there's a lot of variety in tea. So, and at the moment we have them on display here, but what are the products that you selected? What are the varieties that you selected, and how did you go about procuring them, making them, and etc.?
Yeah, sure. So when I launched Brew Society in 2019, we launched with a huge collection of loose leaf tea, because that is something I like to drink at home. You know, I like to drink tea in the loose leaf fashion.
So loose leaf, so it's not in a tea bag?
Not in a tea bag.
Okay.
You know, you need to sort of have a filter or an infuser to put the tea in your cup. So that's how we started. And I really, when I was trying to kind of curate the collection and really develop the unique blends that are unique to us, I was really trying to think of people's moments in the day and how tea can kind of, you know, it's such a dynamic product, how it can be used through different moments of your day. So I'll give you 3 examples. When you wake up in the morning, you might need that injection of caffeine, something that's really going to kind of kickstart your day and get you going. And that was the inspiration behind the development of our ginseng upbeat, to really give you that green tea injection of caffeine in the morning. You have ginseng in there, which is really good for you. And that will really get you going in your day. But there's other people then who still want to supercharge their day, but they don't want any caffeine. And that was the inspiration behind developing Moringa Supercharge. You know, everyone knows about Moringa now, how it's this amazing protein plant-based product that really can give you some power to supercharge your day. But then, like myself and many other people, you're so busy throughout your day, so you want something that is going to captivate your senses, you know, at lunchtime or mid-afternoon, because you're running 100 miles per hour. And that's where we develop some of our organic blends. You know, we have one of our best sellers here in the UAE is Organic Glow, which is our antioxidant tea, which is full of berries, and it's got carrot in it, which is quite unique to us, you know. But it's something that's going to really make you stop and savor that moment and, you know, get your senses kicked in. But we have other varieties as well, which can do the same thing in the afternoon, like Mango Madness, for example, which is so fruity. It's going to really stop you in your tracks and really kind of get you to take that necessary pause. But on top of that, you know, we're trying to show people how diverse this product is. You know, we're showing people you can make lattes out of it. We had a brief chat at the beginning about Forever Nutty, which is like our complete Moorish blend, that if you're looking for a hug in a mug, this is definitely the blend for you. And you can use it to make a tea latte, which is super cool and very pink as it goes. But then all of our fruit tea as well, you can use in recipes, you can make cocktails, you can make cold brews. So we're trying to educate people of all these super cool things you can do with tea and how it can really be part of every moment of your day, to really give you kind of that pause and you know, that time to reflect.
Amazing. That's so interesting. I think, you know, people might think, oh, the tea category is taken up by global brands and there's only one type of tea. But as you said, it's very diverse. Yeah. And you mentioned lots of the products that are blends. So how do you go about making the blend, and how do you know what will work well and taste well, and how do you keep the ingredients healthy as well?
So that's, to answer the first part of that question, that's the exciting bit, and probably the bit I enjoy most is you don't know if it's going to work. You have an idea, you take it to the kitchen, and you try many variations of it, you know, to make sure. But we take a lot of inspiration from, you know, all around the world. The whole tea category globally is so exciting. So we take inspiration from that, but we also take inspiration from, you know, growing up. I'll give you an example. We have a candy floss blend, which was developed from my kind of memories again growing up of going to the fair, having candy floss, you know, having that a bit of a sweet tooth, you know, really kind of touching on that. And then we take other inspiration from, you know, trends you see on social media. We have a delicious flamingo blend, which has butterfly pea in it, so it gives you that lovely blue color tea, which is very fashionable. So we take inspiration from lots of people, and then we take these ideas into the kitchen, and it's just mixing, you know, and playing around with the different ingredients until you find something that you enjoy the taste of. We have one experience, one time when things didn't go quite as well, when we were trying to develop a pumpkin spice latte tea. And again, we were in the kitchen trying to mix different ingredients, and we couldn't quite get it right, you know, the flavor that we were looking for. So we're still trying to develop that. So it's all trial and error, you know, you really just have to roll up your sleeves and start having some fun with the different ingredients.
Amazing. And since you liked tea yourself, you're the good person to be able to taste and test and know if it works and be honest around the product. But the actual manufacturing process, putting, you know, can you explain a bit about that? What are the tea leaves and the other ingredients, and how do you do it outside of the kitchen now?
So we basically source our tea, the base of it. So in terms of, you know, your green tea, your black tea, your oolong, your white, they are the base teas that we use. And we source them from all over the world. You know, we get product from China, we get product from India. We're also actually getting product now from Thailand too. So everywhere in the world we source our tea from. And what we basically do is we import all of our tea in bulk, so the raw tea and the ingredients. When you're looking at some of our ingredients like, you know, the fruits and the herbs, they can come from Europe, they can come from Croatia, Egypt. We basically source product from everywhere around the world. And then we bring everything here to the UAE. It gets blended in our factory, it gets produced into tea bags in our factory, and it gets packaged into loose leaf tea in our factory as well. So everything we could possibly do here in Dubai, we do. But I can't quite grow a Camellia sinensis plant quite yet. I would love to grow one somehow here, and if we can find a way, we will. But, you know, whatever we can do here, we do. So we produce our packaging here, and we get everything printed here. So that's all done in the UAE.
That's fascinating. So you're really, Brew Society, you're owning the end-to-end. It's not like a marketplace. You have a website, you have the products, but you're doing the manufacturing of the tea in the UAE as well. Yeah,
we're a complete brand, you know, it's a complete, we do every single part of this from, you know, creating the blends. The blends are completely created and unique to Brew Society. You can't find them anywhere else. And the packaging is designed in-house by us. We source all of our accessories and design those too. It's, you know, it's a brand. We are Brew Society.
Brilliant. Yeah, so, you know, in the UAE, there's often products that are available here but not manufactured. So you're doing that as well. You're not just importing the nice teas from the UK and reselling them. You're manufacturing, which is super interesting. It's brave though to try and do all that at once, isn't it? Like to try and do all ends of the spectrum. Was your plan at the start?
No, I think we've been, we've been incredibly successful. We launched in 2019, and when I look at where we are today, 2.5 years later, we've never been busier, and the future's looking so exciting for us. But we did it in steps, When we started, we did the loose leaf because that is quite a manual process, and we could find the production facility to do that here, the blending and the putting into a packet. It becomes more technical when you're looking for someone to put it into a tea bag and then put it into the packaging. So we had to really, investigate the market and really explore that. And that took a while. So we weren't able to launch in 2019 with a range of loose leaf tea and tea bags. It was very staged. So we're just growing into our skin, if you like. The more familiar we're becoming with the market, the more we do it. And I'm sure if I sit here in 6 months' time, it'll be completely different again because we're growing and we're evolving, every day.
Fair enough. Interesting. And where did you set up the business? We know Dubai Multi-Commodities Committee, DMCC, imports a lot of commodities like tea, but that's usually passing through. Is that where you need to get regulated, or could you have chosen anywhere?
So I would have loved to been in the DMCC. I've met with them several times, I have contacts there. I think they're absolutely fabulous what they do, and their site is state of the art, it's really an amazing facility. But for us as a startup, I had to dig really deep into my own finances, and I couldn't afford that, if I'm being completely honest with you, at the start, I had to be really thrifty in starting the business. So we took a free zone license in one of the Northern Territories, which was within our budget at the time. And we worked with them for the first 2 years, and now we have a mainland license in Dubai. And that's basically how we started. We had to really think outside the box. It's not cheap setting up a business anywhere in the world. You have so many costs going out for product, marketing. It's, it can really spiral. So for us, we decided to, start in a free zone, start more organically and grow the business. And that's what we've done. So in year 2, we were able to open a mainland license, work on a bigger scale. So we took it step by step.
Yeah, and it's good you have options. And again, it evolves and adapts over time as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the DMCC are great on giving advice. It's whenever I go there, it's my absolute dream come true because they give you this whole suite of tea that you can try, and the facilities it's like I'm in candy heaven. It's just amazing. And maybe one day we'll be based there. But for us now, having the mainland license is really giving us lots of opportunities, and it's working for us.
Interesting. And what was your approach to customers at the start? I have seen your colourful website, and it's amazing. But did you also think about distribution, and did you think about having your own place, or how were you going to sell the tea, and how is it being sold at the moment?
So when we started the business, everything was online, the website that we had back then, I don't know if you've ever saw it, but I developed it, we did everything we possibly could in-house to get this business off the ground and get it started. So we had this website, which was doing okay, we were working through social media to get some traction to the website. But what we did, which was really significant for us, is we got out into the market and did various different markets. One of the significant ones for us was right by the bay. We still work with Ripe today. We're at the Dubai Festival City Mall venue where people can go and try any tea that they want for free at our kiosk. But we worked with Ripe right at the start, and it really gave us the opportunity to get out and talk to people, and really see their initial reaction. When you make them a cup of tea, you can really see real time. Are they enjoying this? Okay. Is there anything they would change? What do they like? What do they want to see that we don't have? And I think that really helped us get to understand our local customer here and what they wanted. And then we just really grew from there. The more we did it, the better our understanding was of our customer, the better we could market things online because we knew who we were marketing to. We weren't just kind of going out to everybody. And that really helped us. So we were predominantly just online and in markets, I'd say, for the first 18 months.
Interesting. And some of those 18 months were the pandemic as well. So
yes,
it was probably a better approach timing-wise to be online rather than reliant on
Yeah.
stores.
Absolutely. You know, the pandemic for us, we definitely saw an increase in our sales online. And around that time was when we started to explore going into retail as well, which for us just boomed during that period because there was such a surge of people homebrewing at that time and being a bit more experimental. Let's try something different. Let's open our home up to a new brand, you know, let's give it a go. And I think that made such a positive impact for us and really catapulted us, if you like, into the next level to get people, you know, to try all of our different blends. So I think COVID for us really kind of opened us to a market that maybe would have been a bit more reluctant to try us, but because of the situation and because of their passion to find products that were about well-being and, you know, antioxidants and really could help them during a pandemic, they were willing to try our products.
Interesting. Laura, how do you see that people are using Brew Society? Is it you know, replacing their main tea? Is it a daily behavior, or is it, you know, an experimental sort of every now and again I'll have a flavored nice tea? What's the kind of general consumer?
So lots of people are kind of making the shift because we do have a collection of, you know, everyday blends. We do our own take on your English breakfast, but it's our take on it. So, you know, it's a very high quality product. When you put
Rocco, let's go try these out. Okay.
Introducing the next generation of spectacles, our first pair of glasses that bring augmented reality to life.
And, you know, chai is such a popular drink as well, and there's, you know, different types of you know, people's stories with tea, while the same as yours, is very different, right? It would have stemmed from the family table, it would have stemmed from nostalgia, and they have memories of tea, but different types of tea. And how do you are you catering for everyone's appreciation and taste of tea?
Yeah, we absolutely do try to cater for everyone's appreciation. I think our range is so large that there's something for everyone. But you know, here in the UAE, there's so many different nationalities, over 200, right? And that's why I was a bit amazed when I got here that the aisles in the supermarket are so saturated by black tea. It's not a reflection of the people that are here. So that was another thing that really made me have that light bulb moment to think no one's catering for these people, you know, these varieties, and showing the exciting things that tea has to offer. But I think, you know, the UAE is primed for innovation. There's so many, as I mentioned before, exciting things happening in the tea category globally. I think the UAE are ready for it. People are adventurous and they want to try new things. They want high quality products. So I really think, the UAE is a really awesome place to be for tea right now. The sales are hot and there's lots of exciting things coming through.
Fascinating. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's a different, you know, the Arab world, the beverage consumption is different to other parts of the world, and while coffee is, you know, while the world is addicted to coffee, it's the biggest drink or whatever, but tea is hugely popular as well. And I think, you know, one of the things, you identifying that the products weren't here is great, that you came up with a solution to not only bring the products here, but to actually make them here, because that's what this country and this region needs. It needs its own products.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's so important. And I think lots of people really are falling in love with the brand because we are so proud to be a UAE brand. You know, I feel since moving here, there's so many opportunities. It is the land of opportunities. And I take inspiration from being here in Dubai to do this, you know. It is a great place to have a business.
Interesting. So I want to talk a little bit more about the kind of macro trends around tea in the industry, but just a little bit on you know, bricks and mortar versus digital, and the current situation with distribution, and the how essential is it to have, you know, especially in the FMCG and drinks category, how important is it to be on the shelf and to be in the aisle. Is it as important now when you can go direct to consumer, when people are shopping, filling baskets on shopping apps? Is it as important as it was 10, 20 years ago to be visible on the aisle?
I think for us, yes, it is important to be visible in the aisle because we are reaching such a wide audience, but we are absolutely growing our online presence, and that generally is growing here. You know, you see all of the huge marketplaces just getting bigger and bigger by the day. So we really want to develop our marketplace. We have a really successful website, www.brwsociety.com, and we've seen huge successes on it because we are really catering for our consumer. You know, you can shop by mood, you can shop by tea type, ingredients. So we're making it really user-friendly with the aim of attracting more people to that platform so we can really kind of connect with our own audience on a direct basis. But I think, you know, for us, we see that we reach people maybe we can't quite reach yet on our website by being in the retail space. And it's just opening that market and making people more familiar with our brand. You know, our product can be found in multiple retail outlets. We're in Spinneys, Waitrose, and Gibson's. And I just think it's really helping us to strengthen our brand at this stage because we are such a new product and a new company.
Interesting. I think that's a good approach because if you have to do both basically.
Yeah,
you have
absolutely.
to go. You can't just say, hey, let's disregard the sort of aggregators or the shopping centers and the brands who have behavior and consumers, and then go only digital. But it's a mix nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, you know, our whole purpose is, as I mentioned, to like really get people to connect, to create these opportunities. We want to generally help society. So to do that, we want to reach as many people as possible. And things that we could do in store, for example, you can't necessarily do on your website. You know, I'll give you an example with Spinneys. We do in-store sampling, and I love that where people can try it. We really just want people to tantalize their senses and get them to try it, because some of our fruit blends, for example, are so bold and so delicious. You know, people make the switch from drinking, you know, fizzy drinks because this is giving them that kind of fruit infusion that they need because they're a bit bored with drinking water. But you don't get that unless you're kind of meeting these people. And we want to meet and try to help as many people as we possibly can with tea. And to do that, I think we need to be in the physical bricks and mortar as well as being online.
Interesting, yeah. And so in terms of your team, what do they do? What do your team do? Do they handle all the shipping? Do they make the tea? Do they do end-to-end as well, or do you have partners?
We are a small business, and like any other SME, everyone rolls up their sleeves and everyone does a bit of everything, you know. We are a team of 5 right now, and everyone works super hard, and I'm so proud of everyone in my team of like bringing this passion alive. And we do all sorts, you know, everyone 1 minute might be sorting a shipment from China to the next minute making a cup of tea at our kiosk, you know, for a customer to try. I think it's really important that everyone in the team tries all of the teas, gets to know all of the teas, and gets to know our customer. It doesn't matter what they specialize in, whether it's logistics, whether it's sales, because people need to feel passionate about the product. You know, my passion is tea. I want my team to feel passionate about the product. And there'll be ones they like and prefer to others, but they need to try it because that way they can engage with people and really connect if they know the product inside and out.
True. Have you seen other people with ideas like you in the market? Are there other competitors of similar sort of innovative tea products? And how competitive is it?
I think it's definitely, the competition is growing because tea here is hot, you know, the demand is growing. But in terms of, you know, our direct competitors, I think we're so unique in what we do because we're fun, we're cool, we're not conforming, we're very bright colors, very unique flavors that you can only get from Brew Society. So we're just very unique in what we do. And to give you an example, you know, of that uniqueness, our product, you will see it online in marketplaces. You will also see it in retail, but you'll also see it in HoReCa. So in your hotels, your cafes, your restaurants. And with
what do you call that?
HoReCa.
Okay.
Yeah. So hotel. It's like the acronym for you know. So it's a bit of a hotel, a bit of a cafe, and a bit of a restaurant in the title.
Got it.
But so like food service type of thing.
Yeah.
But our product, you can see them in each different sector. So you can see it online, you can see it in retail, and you can see it in your hotels, your cafes, and your restaurants. And that's pretty unique to us because most tea brands out there have to pick a lane. So you'll see all the top-end tea brands that you have in the region, and they will be servicing the five-star hotels and the cafes and the restaurants. And then you'll see a lot of other local brands or imported brands which are in your retail category. We're in them all, and I don't think there's anyone else out there doing that. And I think that is because our product, one, is such a high quality product that it speaks for itself. Two, we have these really cool, colorful, unique creations that you can't get anywhere else. That it just really opens us up to all of the categories. So you can, for example, buy a product online. You can go into a retail establishment, buy the tea and take it home and enjoy it. Or you can go to one of our partners, for example, Coffee Planet, and sit and have a cup of tea there in their establishment, which is quite unique, I think, in the tea category here.
And actually, having your type of product in those cafes can elevate the offering that they have as well, because they don't have to worry about, finding different types of tea than someone would get. A standard tea. And I think we also put a splash over the black tea category, because everything here is black tea. When you go into a cafe or a restaurant, you can get a black tea, whereas ours just kind of, just throws so much color on that and gives so many varieties. I think we're really shaking that up. Interesting. And so talking about the sort of global FMCG brands who have teas as part of their products, how are they viewing disruptors like Brew Society or others, or how are they viewing it? Do they, are they acquiring? Are they adding new ranges? Are they changing with the market? Are they succeeding? Are they struggling? That's such an interesting question, and if you look at tea globally, and not just focusing on the UAE, but looking at the whole picture, there's so much happening in the tea industry, and the big names are listening to the disruptive brands, because on a global scale, the consumption of black tea is declining, it's decreasing, because it's historically been drunk by the older population, and the younger generation tend to want more functional drinks, functional benefits. How is this going to help me in my life? They want to know how the product can add to their life. So in terms of the black tea, you can see Unilever are trying to offset certain parts of their black tea business, but then they're investing massively in the herbals and the fruit. And you've seen that for many years now, that the companies are making the shift, and they're really starting to pay attention to the distributors around the world, and taking note of what they're doing, because these people distributing the industry are listening to the consumer and understanding what the consumer wants, and they want variety. They want tea that they can't, have never tried before, and they want to really tantalize their taste buds. They want something that's going to really kind of rock their world, and the black tea, historic black tea, isn't really doing that. I mean, it's very interesting, but is their market share growing? Are the brands, I'm thinking of a few like Tetley's or Twinings or Lions or whatever, are those market shares growing over the last few years? Or are they trying to keep up with the variety that's on offer to customers? The tea category globally is growing, but what you're seeing within that category is the black tea sales are declining, and the herbals and the fruitasanes or the infusions are seeing the biggest. Organic blends are growing exponentially, because people want to have that product that is going to be good for their body and really beneficial to them. So it's just a shift in terms of the product, but the overall tea category is definitely growing. It's like the second most consumed beverage in the world, and it still holds that, kind of award firmly, even though most people talk about coffee. Tea is, other than water, the second most consumed beverage in the world. So the category is growing, and we're definitely seeing awesome things happening in the exciting parts of the category around the herbals and the fruit infusions. So more people drink tea than coffee. Water is one, and then tea. Tea, yeah, on a global, when you look at a global basis. Yeah, it makes sense. It's just we hear more about coffee. I know, that's why we're here. To kind of change the UAE. We're going to be talking about tea forever on. Interesting. But I think it's interesting from a product range, and I think the other brands that are associated with black tea need to almost change, need to get the perception. Other than, as well as having new products under their range, your opportunity is that people associate them with traditional.
with the traditional ones. But even if you look at our collection, we have over 50 different types of teas. We only have 4 black teas.
Yeah.
You know, everything is about the exciting side of it, the herbals, the infusions that really, you know, just add a different element to the category. So that's how things are changing really in the industry.
And it's not on the table, but you had a glass teapot. So,
yeah, we did.
Because I have one of them at home, and whenever I'm working at home, or if I'm reading on a Saturday or whatever, that's what I use the tea leaves, and that's what I do. But it's my behavior, and I don't know if this is for everyone, is I will do that if I'm going to have 3 or 4 cups of tea over 3 hours or so.
Yeah.
I will make a tea like that, but I don't. But if I'm rushing in the morning, or if I'm at my desk, I'll just use a tea bag, or I have the matcha powder or something.
Yeah, because the convenience.
Yeah. Is people's behavior around the blend teas different, or do they treat it like as a 1 cup, or do they brew it like in a glass teapot like that?
It really depends. It really depends on the individual. Like, you know, in my experience, what I tend to do at home, I will either have my teapot, or I will have my glass mug with my infuser in it. And if I'm just drinking pure tea, so nothing that's kind of blended with other ingredients. So, for example, like a organic sencha, or even the milky oolong that we have, which is like one of my favorites, I brew it multiple times. I think people don't realize that either. So when you get up in the morning, you can put your tea in your infuser in your mug, and then just keep adding water to it all day. You don't need to like dispose of the tea leaves and replace them. You can keep using them, because most green teas and white teas, the second or the third infusion is just better, you know.
It's funny, isn't it? It's like historically, if people did that, it would be seen as thrifty to reuse the tea bag. You hang it on the sink and dip the cup in, but now actually people throw it away, and it's still got lots of taste in it.
Yeah, it has, and it can be really reused, and that's because our product is such a high quality product. That's why you can do that. You know, you won't find in any brew society like crushed tea, the dusty particles, which probably wouldn't be nice if you're rebrewing them all the time, because ours is the whole leaf. You know, you can do that, and there's so much flavor still left in it. And I don't think, you know, when I talk to our customers and I say to them, just keep brewing it, just keep, you know, you can use that for the next 3 cups or something, just keep doing it. They're really surprised by that, and when they try it, that's it, they're sold. You know, that's what they do. They put their tea in the morning, and that's what they use all day.
Amazing. So we're moving to the future. Broad questions, but let's start a little bit with, what are your plans for 2022? What do you expect for the Brew Society?
Well, we have so many plans for 2022. You know, obviously, one of our key things is just to find more opportunities and help people to connect 1 cup of tea at a time, to get people, you know, really savoring that moment and making the connection. That's like our passion. That's what we want to achieve. And to do that, we want to, you know, continue our mission in the UAE of more people discovering us, and we really want to break into new markets as well. Saudi, number 1, you know, huge tea market. We definitely want to find a place for our brand in Saudi, and we're super excited about getting to know the customers there and their likes, and I'm sure it's going to be completely different to what we see here and in other parts of the world. So we're really excited to launch in Saudi. We have our website, which I mentioned, which is doing super well. So I feel now we have this kind of success that is proven, and we can take that into Saudi on our website, so people, you know, can explore and find our products. But Saudi would be a huge, you know, market for us that we really want to try and make sure we can penetrate this year.
Yeah, interesting. So it'll need to be in Arabic maybe as well.
So most of our product, or I say most, sorry, all of our product is translated into Arabic. You know, we have all of the ingredients and everything on the sides you can see there. But yes, we would need probably to take more steps on that as well.
So it's interesting, you kind of already mentioned Saudi, but you know, you've created this brand in the UAE, and I always ask on the podcast, is the Middle East an emerging market that will emerge? Are you optimistic? You're an optimistic person, but are you, you know, if you were to answer honestly, do you see, you know, are you bullish on the region? Do you see economic growth in other markets and consumer products like this?
I definitely think there's growth in the UAE. You know, I think that's one of the main drivers why I set up this business here, because I see there's so much to go at. We barely scratched the surface, and the way the UAE is growing right now, like it's the best place to be in the whole world. You know, I feel so lucky and so fortunate to call the UAE my home. I feel like the way we're growing, you know, seeing how amazing Expo 2020 has been done. There's so many opportunities here, and I believe that it's going to grow so much, and we have so much to do with this product in the UAE. But on top of that, I think there's so much potential in the neighboring countries too. You know, we are a local brand here, and we can service those neighboring countries quite easily from our location here. So I just think the future is so bright for Brew Society. I think there's so much we have to go at. There's so much work to be done, but it's just really exciting.
It's good.
Yeah.
I can tell the positivity. you probably need that as well. But yeah, I totally agree. I think there's lots of opportunities in the region as well. And you can decide based on consumers where to go, where the demand is, and where people discover you. You don't need to go, hey, I need this amount for here. Having said that, a question around funding. Do you raise funds for this type of business? And also, if there was more funds in the future, where would you invest in? What would you do?
So in terms of our financial side of things, for the first 2 years, it was very much funded by my family, by myself and my husband to fund the business. But we were really lucky. We secured our first round of funding this summer. We worked last summer, in July 2021. And, you know, we have an awesome investor. Like, you know, we really lucked out. Someone who really, truly believes in the product. He understands my vision, he believes in my vision, and he completely has my back to make this, you know, the best it can possibly be. And he's such a dream to work with. And together we are, you know, making this brand what it is today and trying to get it in front of as many people as possible so they can discover how amazing this product is. So we have secured funding. I think, you know, going forward, if we were to have more funding, I'd love to see, you know, some flagship tea shops coming up where people can really connect more and engage with the brand, see how the product is blended, you know, even maybe experience that themselves and come in and try to blend their own tea and have their own creation that they can be passionate about. To be able to see how the tea bags are made. You know, I come from a manufacturing background, so I'm so fascinated by that. Anyway, I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to that. So people can see it. So I'd love to have this place where, you know, it's like a flagship sort of place in the UAE. This is the home of this brand, where people can come, really interact with Brew Society and get to learn a lot more about tea. So that's where I would love to invest into. Yeah.
Amazing. So that's great. And clearly you know a bit about branding and product as well, because it's very well displayed here and on your website. And for now, if people wanted to taste it, you would be in Spain, but if they want, the weather's good, they can go down to Right Market in Festival City.
Absolutely. And try our whole range. We have everything there. It's all free as well. You can go along and have a sample and try before you buy, if you like, because we completely believe in this product. And we know once you try it, you'll be hooked like we are. So yeah, you can go there, learn about the product and meet the team. It's a great place to go.
What are the days for that again?
It's 7 days a week. Yeah, 4 till 10 every day. It's open. And they have lots of activities and shows there as well. So not only can you take the family, have a cup of tea, connect, come together, you can watch some fantastic shows while you're there.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. It's great to hear about the brand and the company and sharing your story, and we'll follow Brew Society in the future.
Oh, well, thank you so much for
having
me. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you.